Hey guys, welcome back to the channel. So I did get my COVID test results back and it's not great. I am positive, but luckily my symptoms have not been crazy. They've all been tolerable and I'm pretty sure it's because I'm double vaccinated. But I thought while I'm trapped within the confines of my room quarantining, I should give you guys another story time. I think the congestion in my voice is actually coming back. So I should hurry. My mom actually told me about this remedy called a hot toddy and she hasn't made it for me yet, so I'm gonna make it myself. Apparently it's just like warm liquor, citrus fruit, and that's it. I don't really know, but I'm gonna make one, and if you want to see me make one, you can follow me on TikTok right here around somewhere, and you can see me make one. Or try to make one. This is a story time of the time that I got basically race baited while I was in Korea. I don't know if I'd really call it race baiting, but he went on a crazy tirade after I responded to what he did. Alright, I have a little backstory for those of you that are not familiar, but I lived in South Korea for 2 years. I lived in Gyeonggi-do, Gyeonggi Province, which is right above Seoul. My home, though, was about an hour above Seoul. On a random weekend, I decided to get an Airbnb about 2.5 hours from my apartment. I was going to spend the weekend with friends and with my boyfriend at the time, and I just wanted a place to stay so I didn't have to make the trek all the way back home that same day. That being said, I didn't know what I was getting myself into. Typically, booking through Airbnb, whether you're in America or whether you're in South Korea, is very straightforward. Right off the bat, things were a little weird, but I just brushed it off, didn't think too much of it at the time because I was traveling. My host, instead of messaging me through the Airbnb app, which is the only place they're supposed to message you, don't let them message you from your normal cell number or email or whatever, only communicate within the Airbnb app. So, red flag number 1. My host messaged me to my direct cell number without asking. He just had it and decided to message it. And he said, hello, these are the instructions. He sent a bunch of photos. That was great. Getting there, because of the directions, it was very straightforward. Usually when you get an Airbnb in an apartment building, it's just a unit in that building. They give you the door code, etc. So he gave me the door code. I go in, I go up. I'm still going up. And then I realized it's a rooftop apartment because he tells me like, oh, just go past the wooden gate, right? So not suspicious at all, I'm sure. I'm like, okay, whatever, it's just on the roof, that's no big deal. When I open that gate, the first thing I notice is that the kitchen is outside of the Airbnb unit on the roof. Like the literal sink and dishes and everything, they're on the roof. As I go up to the door, I realize it's not a pin pad. Like there's no buttons to push, which majority of apartment building doors in Korea will have a pin pad of some sort. The door is unlocked. I open the door, I walk in, I look around, everything seems, clean. It wasn't exactly what I was expecting because you know how they take pictures from certain angles to make things look larger and all of that? That's what he did. That's what everyone does. I can't really be mad at him there. But out of the corner of my eye, as soon as I walk in, I see a winding staircase leading to a lower apartment. Mind you, I'm on the roof, so anything lower has to be inside the building. For me, as a female wondering about safety, I'm thinking, okay, so is somebody just gonna pop in as I'm like sleeping? Are they gonna pop in while I'm away? Like, what's gonna happen here? But I brush it off, put my stuff down, I look around. When I go back to the door, because I'm gonna go out and like run my errands to my friends and then come back later that night, I realize that there's no functioning lock on that door. Red flag number 2. So I message the host and I say, hey, I'm gonna leave. Is there a way to lock the door while I'm gone? They responded, Oh, I forgot to tell you, the key's missing, but don't worry, no one's gonna come in. Red flag number 3. I'm standing there, literally dumbstruck, just looking at my phone like, what kind of bullshit did I just walk into? I don't know if I mentioned this, but the lock functioned from the inside. So while I'm inside the Airbnb, I can lock the door. I locked the door while I was sleeping, bathing, etc. But when I left, there was no functioning lock on the outside, so I couldn't lock my things safely inside while I wasn't there. Mind you, I have clothes in my bag, I have my laptop, I have my camera because I was filming something. Like, I have a bunch of stuff that costs money in my bag. I respond saying, so I'm supposed to leave my things locked inside while I leave? At this point, I hear sounds coming from the unit below. I go over to the staircase and the door is opening. Red flag number 4. You should have just never come that way, okay? I don't care if you own both apartments. You walk yourself up the stairs and knock on the front door. You don't just go through the opening. What if I was naked? You know? Guys don't really think about these things, I think, when it comes to women. He walks up the stairs and he proceeds to talk with me, and he speaks perfect English. Like, this guy's young, he's probably in his, like, late 20s. I'm talking with him, and he's saying, oh, you know, it's fine, like, a bunch of people, they stay here and they say it's totally fine. What number are we on for red flags, even? I think this is 5. This is like red flag number 5. You as the host trying to convince me that it is okay and that other people are okay with not having a functioning lock while they're gone. I felt like I was pretty cooperative up until this point, but when he told me that it had been months since they've seen that key, oh no, that was it. I said, actually, it's not okay. I don't know who's okay with that, but I'm not okay with that. Now, this next piece of information is very important because it sets the stage for the rest of the story. He told me, out of his own mouth, to request a partial refund on Airbnb. He said, oh, okay, if you're not comfortable, but it's too far to go home, request a partial refund, it's totally fine, I'll cooperate with you. And at that point, I was like, alright, okay, cool, I'm gonna do that. But first, I'm gonna go out and have some fun. Then I'm gonna come back, and then I'm gonna do that. So that's what I did. I communicated with Airbnb several times to ask for a partial refund. They were only gonna give me a very small amount, maybe like a 1/5 of my stay. Whereas I feel like I should have been completely refunded because that was just a matter of safety. But the amount to which they were dodging me and not wanting to help me, they closed the chat on me a couple times and I had to message back again to try and talk to someone else about it to get, you know, something going. After a while, I just wrote him a bad review. I wasn't worried about him, like, suing me for slander or anything because it was all honest. I didn't say anything that was mean. I said he was nice, but the lock doesn't work, don't stay here, it's unsafe, especially if you're a woman, blah blah blah, it's dirty in this area and that, there's no toilet paper. Like, I kind of went in on him, but he deserved it. So after Airbnb approved of the review going on their, like, listing, he texted my personal phone number yet again. So we're here on the millionth red flag. He just said a bunch of things about me and being black that made no sense whatsoever. I'm just gonna let you read it yourself. Oh wow, Victoria, thanks for your honest review. LOL. I have a lot of black friends, but I honestly don't understand why people like you would want to live in Korea when it's not like how you expect the society to be. Korea is not for everyone, and as a black person, you're not going to get the same treatment as a white person. Even that is changing here. I understand that you may be a bit depressed because of that. I think you would be better off in the US. Watch what Whitney Bay is doing. She moved back to New York. It's hard to survive as a black girl in Korea. There's nothing cool about Korea. Stop idolizing Korean culture. That's low-key fetishization. Seek Jesus. Instead, give up on Korean dudes. They're not like how you want them to be. Then he goes on to say, and your Black identity isn't an identity. What is it then? I'm sorry. I can't. Okay. So he says, and your Black identity isn't an identity. Your identity is in Jesus. Honestly, I don't remember what I was doing when I got these texts, but I was just like, it's still coming. Oh, he's still sending more. So at that point, I was just like, no, I'm not going to deal with this. So I texted him, stop contacting me or I'll report you for harassment. And the text messages magically stopped. So if you're in any situation where you're being harassed verbally or like you have concrete evidence like I do through a text message, just threaten them. Just threaten to call the police. The really grimy thing is that he's acting as if he knows what it's like to be Black and female or just Black in Korea, and it's really off-putting. It's really disgusting. Assuming that I'm having a hard time just because I'm Black in Korea. I had a great time in Korea. The only times that I would complain are those really crazy off scenarios that could happen to literally any foreigner, regardless of race. I just want to know though, what would you have done in this situation? Would you actually have reported them? Would you have left it where I did? Would you have said something additional? Let me know if something like this has happened to you and what you did to resolve the issue. Because honestly, having him stop texting me and getting a partial refund, as well as getting him suspended from Airbnb for a little bit, that felt like a win to me. But I don't know, what do you think? But yeah, that's all I got for you. Thanks for listening. If you like story times as much as I do, leave a like and a comment telling me which one is currently your favorite out of now 3 that I have up. And I'll see you in the next one.